Alrighty. This is gonna be fun. Just took my meds. My sleep schedule's all sorts of messed up. What I can say right now is I'm fairly well rested, and my plan is to get some work done today. I have some chores I'll have to start doing in a few hours, but I can start those up to 6 hours from now, so I've got time. So my current plan is to live stream Risk of Rain for a little bit because I just met it. I'll be locking in like an hour or two on getting some work done. Now I am tempted to do some Devil May Cry today, but I don't think I'm gonna have time for that and Risk of Rain. Had to do one or the other, and I really do want to beat Prestige, not Prestige. Why do I always call it that? Because you like Prestige, New Game Plus, in Clicker Games, and this isn't really related, but it feels like New Game Plus when you do clips, because that's what we're doing. Ooh. I haven't even gotten to the hardest parts of Eclipse, and this is already pretty brutal. I'm sure it'd be easier if I was playing a stronger character. It's not that Commando isn't one of the strongest. You know, it kind of reminds me of League a little bit. In League of Legends, you can play characters that trade off power in their kits for power at different stages in the game. Some champions are good at all stages of the game. Those champions are fairly consistent. Some champions are better in the early than any other champions, and some champions are better in the late. And, you know, give and take. You can't have a character that's good at everything. They'd be overpowered being locked every single time. So I pick a character who's best in the mid and the late game of Risk of Rain and struggles the most in the earliest. Now, I do that because I like the struggle in the early, and I like seeing my character scale up consistently over the course of the game. That's why I don't lock Railgunner. Railgunner's good at all stages of the game, to my knowledge. Same for False Sun if you have the right kit unlocked. Like, he doesn't have super high DPS early, but he's super durable. So I'm just thinking about it, like, I would probably have an easier time beating Eclipse on some of these other characters purely just because of the way their kit's built. Like, from what I've heard, Acrid is one of the best characters to play Eclipse because his DPS doesn't change on, like, there's no... He can basically always do, at bare minimum, the same consistent amount of DPS to every boss. And it's a decent amount of DPS, so he doesn't really fall off in terms of DPS in the game ever. So all that matters is your survivability and your mobility. Honestly, it's kind of tempting to try somebody else to start beating the game with, but a few things I don't, like... I pick who's fun to play. I like Commando because he's fun. He's challenging, he's got a satisfying kit, and I feel like he rewards people with high skill. I don't necessarily feel I can say the same about people like False Sun, because False Sun is absurdly dumb. He's, like, if you get 2 Stoneflux Pauldrons and you can deal with being one of the slowest characters in the game for 2 stages while you farm smoothly seed items, he's easily going to be the strongest character in the game, and, like, a few blood transfusions, or a couple Stoneflux Pauldrons are the strongest character in the game. Probably arguably. That's just from personal experience. Because I know Railgunner's absurd too. Like, Railgunner's one of the few characters that can, like, 1-shot or 2-shot the starting boss in the first stage without any items, to my knowledge. So I'm just thinking about it, like... That's the thing too, is, like, Acrid seems like... Where I was going with this is, like, it seems like these characters have different strengths. And while I picked one of the more consistent characters, I feel like I would have an easier time playing Eclipse if I picked someone who's better at the early. Because anyone's good when they get items, so getting items is the part where the game gets easiest. So early is probably the hardest part of the game, right? Acrid's probably the most consistent character you can pick. False Sun has pretty good snowball, and Railgunner's just consistently strong. I feel like Engineer's a safe pick. Engineer's definitely, like, if you just want to spend every stage farming items, that's who you go for. Thought I heard something. Sorry. It's feeling a little chilly in here. Well, it's partially because I'm drinking cold water. Well, not water, Diet Coke. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just thinking now. I do want to keep playing clips on Commando, but the urge to try somebody else is strong. It's always there. It's not even just because I feel like I don't get unlock envy ever when I play Commando. In fact, I think it's much the opposite. I want to try the other characters, but I feel like I'm going to get unlock envy when I play them. Never unlock envy. It's just like I really like Commando. This kid's fun. I feel like if I pick the other characters, it's going to get boring pretty fast. Let's see. Yeah, we're in Commando. Commando is also one of my favorite picks to go with my friends when I'm not trying to carry. Like if my friends are trying to learn the game and they're cool with losing, then I have a couple friends that I've been playing Risk of Rain lately who are newer to the game. I wish I could play more with them. It's just I'm night shift and they're all awake during the day. Oh my god, I forgot. It's that stage. Oh, blind pests my beloved. Anyways, yeah, I have a bunch, well, not a bunch. I have a few friends that like to play this game, and I've been playing with them lately. But, Risk of Rain's an interesting game to play with people because the way that it functions, the drone update has made it better, but a lot of people I play with really still don't like dying. Well, just like one person in particular. Sorry, I'm gonna fix my hair real quick. But like people don't like dying in this game, so when they do, it feels like you're either tasked with clutching up or letting the round end so everyone can have a better separate run. At least that's the way it's been with people I played previously. I have some new people I play with that are a bit more chill and cool with like waiting to respawn and playing out the round as a drone, which I appreciate. So I like whenever I'm like playing with a group, but they don't necessarily want me to carry them. I like to lock commando and let them take most of the items. Like I give them first dips over items. I don't like they can ask me what's good on my character and what they want me to have, but unless prompted, I'm gonna let them have first dibs on the items because I think that's fun. It challenges me to play commando differently. Play him better even. Something I really like about this game is it's not minimalistic. The style is just very simple. I don't know what it is, but there's a difference between minimalism and a simple style, I think. Because it's really charming. They could be super extra with all the particle effects, and I do like some games that are like that. Like the old school League of Legends World of Warcraft inspired aesthetics, like runes and over stylized particles everywhere. That's the design I really like too. I like that style. I'm kind of sad they did away with it in League. But there's just something very charming about the simplified art style in this game. But everything's still immediately recognizable, you know? Let me think. It's 2 minutes in. Honestly, it feels like it's been longer. Let's grab some money. And I see a Lux statue up there. Oh, and a new altar. Okay, that's annoying. Okay. Get up here. Hit that. I really shouldn't be hitting it because I barely have any money, but... It really is a personal pref thing about how I like to play these, because I know if I go to the Newt place and I get Transcendence, that makes the game significantly easier, but I don't really want too easy, you know? It's part of why I'm not playing False Sun, so just trying to think about how I want to approach this. What is a way that I can beat this that will feel satisfying, like I challenged myself? What will make me feel like I deserve the win? Because I'm not playing to beat Eclipse in any condition possible. If I did, I'd be playing False Sun, or I would be going Newt Altar and rushing Transcendence. Playing it to beat it how I want it. So how do I want to beat it? Ooh, Royal Capacitor. That's a fun one. Oh man, he got struck by lightning. That's crazy. Don't worry, guys. You're fine, though. I heard that lightning never strikes the same place twice. The cooldown on it's really short, too. I've also never gone in on commando before. There's just a big old lightning sticking in my arm. Ooh, that is a lot of damage. And it's such a short cooldown, too. That's a huge DPS boost. Alright, Halcyon Shrine. I think we can do this. I hear another one. Maybe it was just both of them spitting at me. Nice. Last time I streamed and I was meted up, I had a really good time getting some writing done, so my plan is to do some more of that. Oh man, that poor beetle. I wasn't even aiming for him. Uh-oh. Alright, now the biggest thing I gotta focus on is keeping my stun ready and making some distance from this guy. Ooh, that lightning is great DPS. Ooh, I'm kind of clean with it. Ooh, that stuns? That's insane. Yeah, it stuns nearby monsters. Dang. And it does damage in an AoE. I noticed that when I first used it. I didn't know it stunned. I'm sure it happened because I didn't insta-kill golems with it. I just didn't notice that's what it was doing. Oh, lightning on a blind pest. That is a whole nother type of satisfying. And those are insane items. We got a strong start for sure right now. You know what they say, lightning is strong against flying type. Alright, let's hit this. If I see another chest, I'll hit it. I'm sure there's more. I'm just trying not to take too long. Yeah, give me some things to kill. Get my damage amped up. Alright, let's take care of those healers real quick. Alright, might want to start making some distance here. Those healers are making it tough for me to do much of anything right now. And those wisps, man. There's so many. Squib polyp. Unfortunate. That fire's gonna kill me. Those wisps. Okay. Let's think about this. I don't need to keep my DPS up. I need to just run away and make some distance. So that is what we will do. I hear more of them spawning. Come on. No. No, that will actually kill me. I hear another one. I'm gonna get outscaled. The skies are just full of everything. Alright, please tell me that's all the flying things. I think that's all the flying things. I hear more spawning! Alrighty, that took way longer than I would have liked, but if we can stay in here and get this portal finished up. Okay, I hear the flying things building up again. Alright, we gotta go around again. Let's just hit one of those. Ooh, way too close. Here, you spawn. Alright, please finish charging this teleporter now. I saw a bunch of stuff to collect in the middle, a few drones and some other sort of goodies, so... Alright, now that's done, we're going to loop around and collect those. The game's already scaled up a bunch, so staying to get these extra items is really going to help us. Is that a bolstering lantern? Tougher times. That is actually not bad. I have too many good items to lose, but it's tempting. I think that's another drone, right? That'll help. Man, Squid Turret is already not that great an item, and it gets nerfed so hard. I mean, I say that, but any of the items that let you turn the stages into a run and gun are just, in my opinion, by concept, really powerful. My gunner drone's gonna die before I can get out of here, isn't he? God dang it. Where did he get stuck at? Come on. Don't die again. What is killing you? Alright, let's get out of here. Good lord. 13 minutes on the first stage. I gotta pick it up. That boss fight took me way longer than I thought it did, but I got so close to dying. Oh, I gotta remember not to mess around with falling down here because this is Eclipse. That'll kill me. Hey, Newt, what's new? Brutal Crown is tempting. Could also just try a domino and see what happens. Shattering Justice. Don't have enough items for it even if I wanted. You know what, Newt? I'm gonna make this a fun one. You know what? Wait, what are the chances? Let's make it higher. Because I want to cleanse these. It's really early in the run. We have a decent chance of getting those cleansed, and a 10% increase to max health isn't bad, but I'm personally hoping that we get that 10% roll to all stats. So let's try for it, shall we? What's the point of playing this if I'm not going to have a little fun, am I right? Ooh, Aphelion Sanctuary. They don't tell you this, but this map has a secret buff to giving you a cleansing pool. Don't look that up. The source is that I did not make it up. That's canon. Just don't look it up. That's cheating. Alrighty. By far one of my favorite stages in the entire game. So let's just enjoy ourselves. Oh, blind pests. Yeah, that'll be fun. It just clicked that this is the other blind pest stage. And if we get the Winter Wonderland next, oh, that's going to be a whole nother type of hell. I'm cutting it way too close. And there's also double equipment drones. That's unfortunate unless I manage to find some equipment barrels. Any more birds? I hear something loud over here. Play Templar. Not good. Let me focus down the pests first. Alrighty, that helps. Oh, another lunar coin. You guys aren't so bad. Oh, I love the way the Lemurians look up. I feel so bad whenever I have to kill them. They're just little guys. Can I have a Risk of Rain universe set game where we don't just ruin and terraform a planet? Can we just be friends? Oh, Squid Polyp coming to the rescue. I love Royal Capacitor so much. Oh, I hope I can recycle that, but if not, not the worst case scenario. Like I said, anything that lets you turn a stage into a run and gun, in my opinion, just feels so powerful because it lets you clear the stage significantly faster. And it creates that snowball effect, you know? Like, a fireworks and a squid polyp will drastically increase the speed of you clearing a stage. Like, I'd be willing to trade off... I would almost be willing to trade off a Noxious Thorn for a guaranteed one of each of those. Like, anybody will tell you fireworks is good. You're going to be interacting with the stage anyways, so that's one of the consistent factors of the game. So, like, you're just adding in another source of constant DPS into the game, but it's the way you interact with that DPS. Like, most forms of DPS, you have to stand still and stop your progress to kill things. It does, in a way, help you progress the game. But being able to do DPS by running around and clearing the stage just makes it go that much faster and it lets you keep your snowball going. Oh man, I wish I could find a scrapper because I'm not a fan of the crowbar or the watch. Safer spaces, or not safer spaces. Tougher times is nice though. Sommering, okay. We're gonna keep that, and we're gonna go look for the equipment drones. Let's see. Warp Deco, absolutely. Need some survivability. Another equipment drone. Or equipment barrel. Perfect. We'll hit this, loop back up there, get the other one. Recycler. Okay, so we're gonna go... I do, like, Rogue Capacitor is a lot of fun, but I think Recycler will be more consistent, and I will still have Rogue Capacitor put on the equipment drone. It'll suck if the equipment drone dies, but it'll also be really funny to see the equipment drone just randomly lightning things, I think. Let's lightning a few things on our way over, shall we? Not getting strong in the way that you would typically expect on Commando, like not getting a lot of on-hit in this stage, or attack speed increases like I did the first couple stages, but not entirely unhappy with the way my power is scaling up right now. Gasoline, that's huge AoE DPS, and repulsion armor, more survivability, which, as I've said, I'm not opposed to. Oh, that's satisfying. Yeah, I disabled Alloy Collected. Like, I'm glad to spend money on Risk of Rain and support the original developers, but I don't think I'm happy with where Gearbox has been taking the game lately. I think that's the people who own it. Oh my god. I just really didn't I gave it an honest... Oh, that is good stuff. You know what? Yeah, let's get rid of them both right now. %20 increase to health, not bad. Ooh, and an attack speed syringe. We're scaling up pretty good here so far. I don't think we got a win in the bag, but we definitely are still in the running, especially after how slow the first stage clear was. Focus crystal. Shit, I guess it's a melee build now. Fireworks. What did I say? Alrighty, now let's find that equipment drone. That chest opened? No, it is not. Regenerating scrap. Fascinating. I'm not entirely sure where the equipment drone was. Thought it was up here. We'll drop down on the other side. Spending a little long in this stage. Been here for about 6 minutes, I think. I would like Recycler, but honestly, I'm happy to just keep this thing. Alrighty, let's stop worrying about it for now and just look for the teleporter. If we find it before the end of the stage, we can go back. Teleporter's up there. Let's gun for it. Don't get me wrong, Recycler's absurd. It gives you more control over your build, but Roll Capacitor's fun. Recycler feels like I'd be min-maxing too hard, you know? Also, Recycler. Get rid of that Crowbar. I know it'd be a huge DPS increase for the Rogue Capacitor, but Crowbar is just not for me. I probably could have kept the watch, though. Because the watch... Because honestly, the watch, I probably would not have broken it for most of the run. Yeah, I probably should have kept the watch. I'm just not a fan of, like, getting punished for taking damage in games. Taking damage is the punishment. I do think it's a good thing that the game has more ways to disincentivize you from taking damage, but that's a bit much for me, cutting my DPS for it. That's kind of why I like Calamity, because I like the full defense builds in Terraria. I think there's a lot of merit to them, but it's also interesting that Calamity puts a different spin on it by saying, okay, you can still have your defense builds, but you're not face-taking things because you get rapidly decreasing armor based on how much you face-tank, which I think is an interesting way of changing it. Crowbar's back. I'll keep a Crowbar. That does synergize with the Rogue Capacitor pretty well. Alrighty. Yeah, I think we hit this. If it drops a boss item, though, I gotta remember to use that Recycler on it. Oh my god. Alright, let's focus one down at a time. I'm actually very fond of the Wandering Vagrant fight in Risk of Rain Returns. I'm tempted to say Risk of Rain 1, but it's not really Risk of Rain 1. It is effectively the same game in spirit, but it's after it got a lot of polishing done that, in my opinion, was necessary to make it a fun game. The first game was a good concept, but it wasn't fun in application. That's gonna hurt. Oh. I picked it up. Oh well. Just said it. Still didn't do it. Marathon would have been nice. Oh well. Oh, but Genesis Loop on Mythics will be terrifying. Oh well, he usually loses by the time he gets that low anyways. Alrighty, this run's going on long enough to where if I die in the next 15 minutes, I probably won't do another. If I die on stage 3, I might be convinced of another, but if I die on stage 4, I'm probably just going to call it there. And either... No, I'm going to do some writing. Then I'll do some music. And then by then, my partner should be up and already attending work, so I'll start talking to him about the logistics of doing chores. I got some things I need to schedule today, too. hit that. I don't need it. I don't need to sweat. I can have fun. The royal capacitor is more fun. If I got it on the equipment drone, it would have been nice, but that's why I don't play Metroidvania, as I suck with directions. Let's just break all those. I don't want to get poisoned. Though they might regenerate. I haven't actually paid attention to see if they do or don't. I say as I've been playing this game for hundreds of hours. It's very quickly become one of my favorite games of all time. It's one of the most recent games I've picked up in terms of my Steam's lifetime, and it has easily become one of my favorites. Let's see. I think I'm going to get a Devil May Cry display now. Do I already have one? I don't think I do. No, I don't. I've become a real big fan of the hack and slash franchise, so I think I'll get one of those and a Kingdom Hearts one, if I can find them. Something to motivate me to keep working on that video. The reason I say this is because my partner and I started doing the Display Club thingy a year ago, and they had a thing where like they match your first order in terms of whatever you purchased if you hold your Display Club subscription for a year, and we did. So now we get a year, like 6 displays for free, which, you know, probably is a pretty decent discount if we kept ordering displays over the course of the year. And we ordered a few, but we're probably going to be ending our subscription after this year just because we're trying to save a bit more money. And if I want to do pinups on my walls, there's probably cheaper alternatives, especially since Display doesn't do everything. Like, I was very disappointed when I couldn't get some tasteful news put up on my wall because apparently they don't allow adult content. Which, if I'm an adult spending my money, limiting me from spending adult content, I'm not a kid. What the heck? I have a feeling breaking those is gonna make him weaker. Still pretty good DPS. Like, I know my single target DPS isn't the highest right now, but it's decent, and my AoE DPS is huge. But yeah, let's try to focus some single target DPS for the future. I don't think AoE DPS is going to get harder for us. Gasoline's pretty much got us covered there. Oh, one of my gunner drones is getting low. I wish it was easier to keep track of those things. If I was playing the drone character, it would be. If we just keep opening crates, though, that'll help. Fireworks and more squid turrets. Focus crystal. Seed of life. Ooh, that's a big one. I feel like if getting in a situation, it could still come in really clutch in the Mythic fight. I think I kind of have to take it. Even though it is not as fun objectively as the rest of my build, I cannot argue that that is game changing. I'll take it. I could put it on an equipment drone if I find one. If the equipment drone dies, that would suck, but it'd basically be a second life following me around as long as I can keep the equipment drone alive. The heck? Get away from me. Oh, one of my drones is dead. Hopefully I can find him before the end of the stage. What growth nectar? Ooh. Cannot be mad about that one at all. My stat check just got a lot stronger. Let's get this out of the way real quick. I'm sure there's a lot more items, but don't want to dilly or dally too long. Focus down those little things. I have a feeling just breaking those is going to make it a lot weaker. I feel like it attacks slower when I break those. Like it has a much harder time aiming its laser if it's even aiming for me. Okay, let's focus these things in now. I'll save my phase blast for it though, because my phase blast can still hit it. Should be dead. Got him. Oh, Will-o'-the-Wisp. Hell yeah, more on kill effects. I think my equipment drone's gonna go down. That's tragic. I'm trying so hard, buddy. Oh no, it went down. It's all falling apart, the dream. I know for a fact there's more equipment on this map, though. Like my royal capacitor. Need to get a Colonel Drone Man or something. Like, my drones just can't keep up. I'm killing these things as fast as I can, but my drones are getting punked. I think that's also just us feeling the health cut, the health regen cut, because that affects allies. Like, my drones are just barely getting DPS'd faster than they can heal. Which would help if I had more healing drones, but one of my healers just went down, so... Alright, let's take a quick stroll. And, so the plan is, we grab this, put it on the equipment drone, and keep an eye out for any of my other drones that got broken. Oh, multi-shop. 2 multi-shops. Huge. 3 items, not multi-shops. Delicate Watch. DPS increase, not mad. Oh, more healing for allies would be huge. Ramping DPS, though. I think we'll need that more. I don't personally feel like I'm struggling with healing, but I probably should have went for healing anyways, because I feel like that's going to be an issue soon. Huge. What else? Oh yeah, over here, we're going to drop this off here. I also don't think I went underground. Take that as a big old no. Let's find my Seat of Life before I get out of here. That's another item. Medkit, yes please. There it is, my Seat of Life. And I think we're good to get out of here. Probably could find my drones if I keep looking. But if they fell into the void, there's nothing I can really do. More items? Energy drink. Yeah, we'll take that. Something good to put my white scrap towards. Uh-oh. Oh, that is going to hurt. Stop doing it! Alright, let's get out of here before I off myself. Still sad about my drones, though. Like, am I sure they're not around here anywhere? Oh well, I'm wasting time. Ow. Alright, let's see. We're on stage 4? Okay, 10 minutes per stage. We're getting some of our time back. Honestly, considering we spent like 14 or 16 minutes on the first stage, that's not awful. I think I hear a Clay Dune Strider. I should take care of that. But this is just money, so I'm doing this real quick. AoE DPS, yes. Take out that thing. That's a legendary. Nature's Rejuvenation Rack. Amazing. I hate playing ADC in League, but I love playing in Risk of Rain. Funny how things work out, huh? Oh, AoE DPS is about to go off here. Just, the whole game is a shooting gallery for Commando, and I love it. I saw that lightning strike. Oh, that's hurting though. Alright, let's keep moving. Some healing though. Oh my god. Alright, we see the teleporter. Is that somewhere I can ping it? Where is it? Oh, that drone's going down. Good night, buddy. That thing's ready to strike him with lightning. Uh-oh, that's unfortunate. We farm just enough money to start buying everything. I say this partially because I'm also panicking because I'm struggling to find any items. Well, I know where the nude altar is. I don't think it'd be worth to go for, though. This sucks. Alrighty. Oh man, I'm struggling to find a way up there. And those were the rats, which do an obscene amount of damage, which, unfortunate. I'm not losing hope. I just need to actually find some chests. It sucks though because now I can actually get got. Just keep running. Hopefully my drone follows. Oh, finally finding some chests. Let's go. Alright, running gun. That's the name of the game. More DPS. Fantastic. And I see where the legendary chest is. Question is now, is it going to be worth sticking around for? I'm erring on probably not. I was trying to go for gnarled, but you know what? Honestly, that's fine. The item I have is still effectively healing. Not worth. It'd be fantastic for the Mithrix fight, but not for much else. And the ukulele, I think we get that one. Just clear out some of these enemies. As I said, I'm still struggling with single target DPS, but AoE DPS is huge. Finally got those tough, gilded little gips. Thing's been bugging me since the start of the round. Alright, now let's get moving. Like, I feel like I'm missing a lot of items in this stage, but I'm not sure where to find them. I know where to find one at least. Alright, we're almost there. Coffee? Yes, please. Oh, one of you are still alive? More money, actually, so not entirely a bad thing. What's it gonna be? Luck. Oh, that's huge for on hit. Holy crap, that's huge. I don't know what items I need to proc chain, but I'll just keep my eyes out for anything that goes on hit. For on-hit builds like Commandos, luck is one of the most influential pieces of DPS you can gather, to my knowledge. Assuming you actually have the items as well. Because like you're already going to be building on hit on Commando, so assuming you have that much minimum, luck is insanely impactful. I hear claim Deuce Strider somewhere. I'm afraid I'm just going to get got by something that shows up behind me, so I'm trying to avoid that at all costs. Noxious Thorn, more AoE DPS, and single target because of Ramping Bleed. A fantastic mixture of effects for Commando. It doesn't feel like we got that many items to stage, but this is still by far one of the stronger stages we've seen. I still do wish our single target DPS was higher, but I feel like it got a huge spike from the 57 leaf. I don't know the formulas, the math that goes into it. Permutations were never my strong suit, neither was probability. But I just know that re-rolling for an additional chance at getting something good dramatically increases DPS that revolves around doing those things. And to my knowledge, there's some effects that happen when you damage an enemy in the game, and then there's some effects that happen on hit. And the effects that happen on hit, it's either this way or the other way around. I don't remember much because I just saw a video about it in my feed, and I try not to look at videos about Risk of Rain, but this one was particularly about, like, why bad luck is so horrendously bad in the game, at least on particular builds. So I took a look at it. And apparently there's like items that can proc other items' effects, like their damage. And that's something called proc chaining. So re-rolling to have that not happen dramatically lowers the DPS output of a lot of different builds in the game. And most commonly, this happens on... Oh my... Commando. Like, look at how much blade stacks he's getting. I think I only have 2 blades. But I'm bleeding him like I've got 5. If anything, farming money should be easy, but I'm also going to be extremely squishy once my shields go down, so... I'll let that happen, shall we? One of my favorite things about the ukulele tech on Commando and the Noxious Thorn is if you DPS a single target, you're just constantly killing everything around it. Yeah, I'll take that. 2 legendaries! Electric Boomerang and Nuka Huna's opinion. Okay. Very, very strong spot I find myself in right now. Let's just keep running and looting. No. I am genuinely flabbergasted. That's 3 legendaries back to back. The first will make sense. I think if you get a Sail Star proc for a legendary on a chest, you're guaranteed to get 2. But then I got a second legendary straight after, which again, they're both on large chests. The chance is significantly higher than a regular chest, but still. What? Okay, apparently I'm... Wait, that's because it's the luck, isn't it? That's the clover. It's giving me a better chance of legendaries, right? That has to be what it is. I just got 3 legendaries back to back. That is ridiculous. I really hope I don't regret that. Alright, let's see. Is that an ATG? ATG or healing? Oh, man, that is hard shoes. We'll think about it for a second. I think I'm kind of getting one shot. I don't think I'm getting bled health over time. More DPS sounds like those. Smarter. Okay. And yeah, I have healing off the fruit. This isn't even a question. I need to go for ATG. Healing's already nerfed. If I were early game on Commando, I would say that's huge, but I'm not early on game Commando. It's kind of not that effective right now of healing. It's much more effective in the early game, especially if you stack it. Let's just get this over with. Don't drop down on top of me, please. Alrighty. It'd be cool if there's an item that, like, added some indicator. It doesn't exactly have to be super obvious, but maybe something that just occasionally points to where an enemy is. Like, maybe there could be an item that, like, occasionally pings a nearby enemy as vulnerable. and then if you focus that enemy, you get damage. The damage part isn't really what I'm worried about. I just think it'd be nice if there was an easier way to see enemies, and putting that in an item could be fun. But also, if it's an accessibility thing, I suppose it shouldn't be locked behind a gameplay element. But also, if part of the skill ceiling on the game is being able to identify where enemies are and kill them, then maybe it should be an item. Alright, I know where 2 chests are, so we're going to go hit both of those, and I think we're going to get out of here. I don't want to stay here too long and get got, but if I can just scale for free a little bit more, I wouldn't mind. I don't even think I went up over there. We can do a quick stroll. Because this stage always has a lot of items. There's another drone. There might just not be anything up over here, because most of the stage was pretty bottom heavy in loot. Monster 2 3D printer, don't need it. I also had a green scrap 3D printer, or regenerating scrap, I realized, and I never used it. Partially my fault, but also regenerating scrap is kind of one of the hardest things in the game to use, so... Alrighty, I have 3 dashes. Honestly, I might be able to trimp up there off the shield. We'll see. I'll get as much movement speed as I can, run into it, but it might not be possible. How many antlers do I have? I have 2, so I can stack up further than 3. Then it might be possible. Because I have Afterburner as well, which can help preserve that vertical momentum. No, not even going to be close. Let's just focus on getting through the stage. Feels like when your late game's in a balloons level. All the hit sound effects. I don't even know if I saw any in here. I don't think I did. But there are some over here. That movement is nutty. Alright, there's one up here. It's the soul one. Ah, that means the tough ones are going to be the main ones, isn't it? I gotta remember to stay in this one. This is the one that falls off. And I think it goes without saying this definitely is going to be my only run for this. Then I'm going to focus on writing. Alrighty. Oh, I only touched that for a couple seconds. That's another growth nectar. Um, I don't know. Aside from the ATG, no, I don't have. No, I have a lot of good green items. I don't know if that's worth a growth nectar. I just don't know how much stats it gives you to be able to make the call if that'd be worth. If I had more regenerating scrap, it'd be an easier call. I wish there was an item that reduced knockback effects. Because this is just awful. I wish at the very least pillar design wasn't frequently one of the required pillars. Like, I think there's I think it's... Is it Pillar of Mass that's always available? There's like one or two pillar. I think it's either Pillar of Mass or Pillar Design is always available. Blood isn't always available. It may very well be that none of them are always available, but that they always all cycle in and out. But I wish, in order to complete it, you had enough to where you didn't have to always guarantee do a couple of each. Because it'd be nice if the Pillar Design one was always optional, because this just sucks. Alright, and then I just have to do it one more time. And there's not even a wall next to this one, so... There's an item that makes the zones smaller. Like, because I know this is from one of the Eclipse effects. But there is an item, Focus Convergence. They make the zones smaller, but make them charge faster. It'd be really nice if there was an item, maybe it doesn't have a debuff, or maybe it just makes the portals charge slower. But something that just makes the portal zones bigger. Because, at the very least, if for nothing else, this alone would justify that. In my opinion, for, like, being worthy of an item slot. I can also see you making a lot of boss fights easier, being able to have more of the map to move around, but this is really just me griping about how much these pillars suck to do. Like, look at this, I'm getting a % every 3 seconds or so. I think attacking it from above is the best strat. Yeah, going from above is definitely the best. Wait a second, is it... Oh! If I don't stand on anything, it doesn't hit. That's very good to know. That makes this a lot easier. Partially me being bad then, I suppose. Still, definitely one of the least fun pillars to charge. Oh, there were 2 pillars of mass. I could have been out of here already. I only saw 1 light. Double the strength healing, jeez. I wonder why my health's been going back up so quick. Alrighty. Finally, almost done. It's been a lot of fun, though. I have 2 lives, so hopefully I'll be fine. I'm still entirely capable of fumbling this, so I guess we'll see. Decent DPS, all things considered. Jeez. He did through that through my warp deco and through my my armor item. I don't remember what it's called. Opal. Alright, second stage time. And that means ramping DPS, my favorite. Because I have... I don't remember what it's called. Alrighty, back to the main event. Oh. Yep, his hammer's powered up now. Oh, man. Please don't hit me again. Oh. I don't know if that was through my opal or what, but I need to kill him before he does that again. Okay. He's gonna one-shot me, I know it. God. Oh, and he's healing up. Okay, got a couple of my items back. That helps. This final stage usually ends so quick. I'm not used to seeing him do the hand slam attack, but it is really cool. All right, we're good. All right, now I gotta get out of here. It's not over till it's over, but I think we got this in the bag. I feel so bad for all the players that finally beat Mithrix after dying to him for a dozen or so times, and then they have to escape and they don't manage to pull it off. It happened to me at least a couple times, especially for the people who don't know what the Void creatures do because they may not have the Void DLC. So they just see a Void creature show up and then it detonates and it insta-kills them. And that should be it. Oh, fantastic. Another flips down. Sadness. Definitely took longer than I would have preferred, but a good run nonetheless. The next one, enemy cooldowns minus 50%. That... Okay, so we haven't gotten to the funny difficulty spike yet. That's going to be on 8, isn't it? Where it's like every enemy has permanent image skeleton. Oh, enemy cooldowns minus 50% is going to create some interesting interactions. I immediately want to say it may not be that bad, but in actuality, that's probably pretty bad. Like, if you play someone who can dodge attacks consistently, then it's a bit easier, I guess, if you're trying not to get hit in the first place anyways. But on minus 50% cooldowns, the game is just going to become a Souls-like at the end, isn't it? Because you add ramping max health damage penalties every time you get hit. Now all the enemies hit much quicker. They move quicker. I forgot, enemies have plus 40% speed in this. Ooh, that's tough. I'm just thinking immediately, blind pests are going to suck. Wisps are going to suck. Wisps aren't so bad in the first stage, but the first stage boss, they almost cost me the run. Oh, that is tough. I wonder if there's anything I've unlocked recently in the logbook. Not much. Information about all the drones. Wait, yeah, let's take a look at my stats because I believe, yeah, half my wins are on Commando, and the other half, like the other third, are on False Sun. But if we take a look at my damage dealt, yeah, not even close. I think it's hilarious that Blind Pest is in the top 5, and so is Elmorian. I'm surprised Stone Golem's that hard. I guess it's easy to misconstrue damage they're dealing because their lasers like do a little bit of AoE damage. So when you get low, I guess it's easy to misconstrue like getting poked by their laser end as being, oh, I got shot by a wisp or something, you know? Mithrix being the most deaths also makes sense. Really just shows how far I get in a lot of my runs. But also, I think it's hilarious that Blind Pest is that high. And Child's even on the top 10 list. Because as I've said before, those are some of the biggest problem causes for me personally. I hate Childs, and I hate Elderlorian and Blind Pest. They're all terrifying. Time summoned. Oh, yes. I was wondering where the strike zones come from. That would be from the walkie-talkie, wouldn't it? Oh, that's hilarious. Someone got trapped inside a gup or a gip or something like that. And the drone was able to out heal the acid that was damaging them, but I get it. The person's probably not going to be particularly happy about that scenario, but the drone's still miffed that it's not getting a thanks. Well, yeah, I mean, having to endure that for 14 hours would probably suck for most people, at least if you're not into it. But yeah, no, that would suck. I mean, cancer's not fun, but you got bigger things to worry about. And like, keep this between us. Yeah, absolutely, because nobody should nobody who's in a survival scenario on a planet where that's their last line of defense between death or survival probably should be hearing that. We have the gunner turret, but where's the NG turret? Come on. We get Doc and Crosshairs, but we don't get NG turret. Bit of an oversight, Gearbox. Gotta say. Alrighty, well that's enough Risk of Rain for now. Let me take a look at my messages real quick. Alright. So let's see. What am I going to do? I'm going to continue writing, and I'm going to practice music a little bit. I also need to play some games on stream so I can collect footage. I have a couple days left. Aside from chores I have to do today, I have today and tomorrow off, so I'm hoping to get the bulk of this project moved forward today and tomorrow. And I'm assuming I'm as productive as I have been each day that I've set aside a day to work on it. I'll hopefully have this done in a couple weeks. I know for a fact that by the end of tomorrow, at least, I can have the rough draft for the script done. And I'll probably refine it as I work on the rest of the video, but I think I'll be done with it once I have that much done. Now, the thing I'm coming to a head on is how I'm going to do the actual video. but I'll worry about that later. I can't get caught up in the weeds just yet. Just looking for something to leave on. Really does make me wish I had more places I could just AFK, like my Minecraft server, but I'm not so cool that my friend who runs that is cool with me doing that. So, hmm. I mean, I don't have to put anything up. I got some good games in here I should play. I've heard great things about Dead Cells. All right, let's see. Where was I? Yeah, let's work on the script now. I think I can take a little bit of time to work on that. Oh yeah, so I was getting onto the different elements of a hack and slash. Honestly, pulling up an extra page to do some research about this probably wouldn't be bad. I just don't like. It feels strange, even though I see Charlie do it all the time. It feels strange to have a stream where I'm just like pulling up browsers and looking things up on stream. But that's what I'm doing right now, so it's probably more interesting than looking at a blank desktop. But nobody's watching anyway, so I can do whatever I want. All right, let's see. So there were the different elements that I was trying to expand upon because I want to cover each of these, but I also need to figure out the actual like outline of the thing. So let's take a look. Informational, what is common elements, examples. So I want to find out how to stage this because I have the common elements of each hack and slash. So basically, what is a hack and slash, right? I have a few different games that I've played through, and I think I have a comprehensive idea on what the basic concept of the gameplay loop looks like. I want to break those common elements down to give a better idea, a better definition of what it is. So I'm thinking, do I want to like segment this into these different questions, or do I present these questions and answer each one of them as I present each game? Because segmenting the games from each other would probably be the best approach because I don't want to like muddy the chapters too much, so to speak. So I guess what I can do is introduce these concepts and describe each one in each different game, and then maybe use a link from one game to another, a common thread they share to bridge the gap between those two um, chapters, and then tie it all back together in the end with a final chapter that like shows how all these games relate to each other, all the different systems they employ, how they all tie together to make this singular. Sorry, I got a hair in my mouth. This singular experience that is familiar across all the different games in the genre. So let's see. We have that shop system I mentioned earlier. Okay, so this is the unique thing. So in these games, you have a shop system, but then you also have a linear progression of skills, and they're most of the time in these games they're identifiable and identifiably exclusive concepts. So the shop system allows you to upgrade and diversify your kit, but this is where you build your own character. This is where you have the freedom of choice. Linear progression of skills will, like, as you progress the game at key moments, whether it's defeating X amount of bosses or clearing X amount of stages, you will get guaranteed power ups at each set of the game. And you may be able to choose how to divert those power ups a little bit. An example, this would be Cult of the Lamb as opposed to DMC. DMC, you defeat a certain boss and they'll give you a guaranteed weapon every single time. In Cult of the Lamb, defeating each one of the heretic bosses will give you a resource which can be used to purchase a power up from a very limited selection of resources. I say this is different than the shop system. This could honestly just because again, like Cult of the Lamb gets a little bit lost more in the town building similar sort of things. But the shop system is more like you have a currency, a widely available currency that is used to diversify and expand your build comprehensively and fine tune it to your personal preferences. Example, this would be the gear system from Hi-Fi Rush, or the red orbs from the first Devil May Cry, and I think the third, because I don't think they introduced Proud Souls until the fourth. And then in Cult of the Lamb, I would argue this is where Devotion comes in. Devotion, and I don't remember what it happens when you get so much Devotion, but you get an upgrade at the statue, because you use Devotion as two. It's kind of like a doubled up forms of currency. I don't remember. There might be a different name for it, but you get a type that you use in the church to yourself that you use to upgrade your kit, and then you get a type you use to upgrade your town in a similar fashion. But that is a separate shop system, in my opinion, from the linear progression of skills, which are guaranteed points, which would be the heretic hearts. And to expand on the linear progression of skills in these other games, I suppose, would be God of War. You In the God of War 4 and 5, you will get different weapons at set stages of the game. You'll get different characters, different abilities at set stages of the game that you have to learn to play around. A good example of this would be, starting on God of War, you don't have a rage meter, but after you get through most of the tutorial, they give you a rage meter. That's a guaranteed upgrade to your kit. And then after you get through so much more of the game, you get various. They're kind of like puzzle solving abilities, but they can also double as in combat abilities, like the ability to throw chunks of red. I forget the name of the crystal, but like you throw red chunks of crystal and Atreus uses electric blow to blow them up. That's primarily a puzzle solving tool, but it can also be used occasionally in combat, right? That's a linear progression of skill. A better example of this, but the reason I didn't go to this first is because it happens only like twice in the game, is unlocking different abilities. You get rage, and then you get your Blades of Chaos. If you're in the third game, you also get a spear. Uh, I another another side to this linear progression of skills code would also be your resource bars, which I think ties across these games even better. In these games, because hack and slash is, the concept is that you go into a room full of enemies, you clear them all, and then depending on what the rest of the game is built like, usually you will progress through I guess you could call them encounters, because that's how Hades refers to them, and I think it's a good enough description of the word. You'll have a map with so many encounters, and along the way, you'll usually be challenged with platforming and puzzle solving. But that's the setup for Hi-Fi Rush, God of War, Devil May Cry, Kingdom Hearts. But along the way, you'll get set with encounters. Now, how these encounters are laid out differs very, very widely from game to game. Like Kingdom Hearts sets spawn locations in every room, but it doesn't block you from going to other places most of the time. God of War kind of does, especially in most scripted encounters. And Hi-Fi Rush does at every encounter, because every encounter is scripted. So there's a little bit of difference between like the hack and slash elements and the not the hack and slash even so much. It's like the open world elements versus the action RPG elements. How much it leans into open world will vary much how much you get locked into those encounters. I think but yeah, in these games, sorry, I was just messaging a friend. In these games, you'll have resource bars that can increase over the course of the run. A good example would be all these games at their base have a health bar. If your health bar reaches 0, you lose. That's the case for every single one of these games. How the health bar looks can differ. Most of the time, it's just like a bar with a like arbitrary amount of health. Sometimes you'll see a number for it. Sometimes it'll be a hit based system if it leans more into the bullet hell slash roguelike systems that you typically see, like in what am I trying to say? Cult of the Lamb and Binding of Isaac. They kind of take inspiration from Legend of Zelda, I think, with their hit-based system instead of a health bar. But that's your health bar. Whether or not it's hit-based is irrelevant. You'll see that resource bar along usually with a special bar. Cult of the Lamb has Fervor. Devil May Cry has Devil Trigger. Kingdom Hearts has a magic bar and a summon bar sometimes, depending on what you're playing on. And God of War has a rage meter. That special bar will give you combat bonuses when you activate it. You usually charge it by taking damage or dealing other combat oriented things. And when you activate it, you get a bonus to your stats. You get more damage, more healing, more movement, different abilities. But both of these resource bars will be increased over the course of the game, usually at fixed intervals, but also optionally increasable based on how much you're willing to side quest to progress through the game. We also have unique weapons. Like hack and slashes revolve around a lot about the individual weapons you get to learn and work with. They're core components of your kit. And while you can upgrade them and diversify what they do with these shops mentioned before, you'll usually be given a set amount of unique weapons at key intervals in the game. Uh, Beowulf, the electric guitar, Cerberus from Devil May Cry 3. Cult of Lamb, you get devotion unlocks, which give you different types of weapons, not necessarily more weapons. I think there's one you can unlock by doing that. It's the gun. Hades gives you the Malphon, the twin fists, the shield, the sword, the bow. God of War gives you the blade of chaos, axe. You could technically count rage, but I think that's more just a tutorial thing, not really a solid addition to your kit after learning the base components so much. And then God of War. No. Difficulty setting. So this is I'm on the fence on whether or not this is a component of hack and slashes, but this is just something I noted because it irks me personally. So many of these games will have like two, maybe three difficulty settings to pick from at the start. That's the standard. It's like you have the normal setting, which they recommend you play on. It's the intended experience. It's challenging but fair, and it will allow you to experience the game as the developers intended, right? Then you have easy mode, which is if you are not confident in your own abilities or you just don't like hard games, you just want to go through the motions, feel like you're having a good time, you're super powerful, or you're just there primarily to experience the story. And then they have sometimes those are the first two that are usually always available, and then sometimes they'll have a optional harder difficulty that is available to you, and that harder difficulty will only be like that harder difficulty may sometimes be available, sometimes it won't be, but those are the like two or three difficulties you'll get. But almost every single one of these games will have a secret hardest difficulty that will only be available once you complete the base game, sometimes on normal difficulty or above, but usually it's just on completing the base game at all. Kingdom Hearts does this. No, Kingdom Hearts doesn't do this. I think they might have did it in the first game. They might not have. Uh, I think Hades does this. I know Devil May Cry does this. MGRR does this, and Hi-Fi Rush does this. But there's an exception to this. I know for a fact, in at least MGRR, they give you the option of putting in the Konami code to unlock a bunch of extra content for the game, including Revengeance mode. And I really appreciate that because something I could not jive with is in Hi-Fi Rush. If you, not in just Hi-Fi Rush, in any of these games with this feature I just mentioned where it locks difficulty behind an initial playthrough on your save file, that means for returning players who may not have access to that save file, they have to play through the entire base game again, which could be between 10 to 40 hours of gameplay before they get to play that hardest difficulty. This is why I appreciate games that allow you to have that hardest difficulty from the offset, like God of War, or if you know about the hardest difficulty from a previous playthrough, you'll know how to get to it without having to do that additional playthrough, like MGRR. Just games that give you the option, but maybe make it harder for you to find out about the option if you're a newer player, so that way you don't accidentally burn yourself out in the game. I would assume that's just for developer intent, because that is something that happened to me on Kingdom Hearts 2. Beat Kingdom Hearts 1 in critical mode. Oh, Kingdom Hearts 2, it'll probably be just as easy. I'll play it. Horrible mistake to do on critical mode, because Kingdom Hearts 2 is a fundamentally similar but different combat system from Kingdom Hearts 1. I think it takes a lot of inspiration from Devil May Cry just for my limited like few hours of playing it, but I really want to give it another go so that way I can understand more of the inspirations that it took. But it's a different enough combat system to where I should have tried it on the easiest the intended difficulty first, at least, because it wasn't like none of these games are intended for people to play the hardest difficulty first. The hardest difficulty is a challenge for you to push yourself to your limits after you've already become familiar with the system. It's not intended for learning the system. You won't learn the system, but you're constantly getting your head stomped into the ground before you can even get familiar with the basic controls. So again, that one's really on me, and I would appreciate if the games had more of those options available to you. Like maybe it doesn't immediately tell you about the hardest difficulty, but it allows you the option if you know about it. I'm not sure that there's more common elements I need to go into than this, aside from just talking about the general vibe, kind of like the difference between a Souls like and a Souls something or other. Alrighty, looks like my friend wants to chat. So I think I'm gonna end stream here. I think this was a good recap on what I was working on. I'm gonna continue to work on this in my free time today. I'm hoping to, at the very least, get each one of the chapters that I know I want to have figured out, and then get maybe a rough thesis for each chapter written. At the very least, I do want a rough idea of how many chapters there will be, what the flow of the overall essay will look like, and that should be fine for me. Just an outline so I have something to start writing words in for later. And I know what things I have to keep doing more research on. But I think this is I'm gonna keep working on this off stream, but I am gonna go for now. I'm happy with how the Risk of Rain run went. I probably will still do a stream of that once a week or so, but if I come back and stream again sometime this week, I want to focus on doing what is it called? Devil May Cry. I want to finish Devil May Cry 4. Again, it's not as intoxicating as 3, but I do think it's still a game worth my time at the very least. So I'll see it through to the end. 5, I'm very excited to start. If we're lucky, I'll start that before the end of the month. But I've probably got at least another 20 hours to go before I'm finished with this game. Depending on how hard the fights are, could be longer. So we'll see. But I'm gonna sign off now. Be back later, I guess.